Hey, what's up, guys? Back with another episode of What the Real Podcast. I'm your host, Darnell.
And I'm Brittany.
So, guys, make sure you follow the channel, the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow the podcast on any podcast app out there. We're on all of them.
But what is our YouTube channel?
YouTube.com/cinemacritics.
You guys hear that?
Yes.
That was youtube.com/cinemacritics.
Yeah, so make sure you check us out on there. Make sure you check us out. Definitely on all the other podcast apps are on there. Make sure.
But if you go to Spotify, you can actually watch a video of us.
Yes, I got the Spotify.
You can watch me do all my hand gestures and motions and act crazy.
Yeah. So, on this episode, what are we reviewing?
Today, we're going to review the 2024 movie Blink Twice.
Yes.
Wow, if I can speak.
Blink Twice, yes. Directed by Zoe Kravitz, her directorial movie, pretty much her first movie. So what are your thoughts, like your initial thoughts on the movie?
At first, I thought I wasn't gonna like it. I was like, it was a little. I thought it was a little slow in the beginning, but then as soon as you started seeing like little hints of things happening, I was like, okay, I think I see what's gonna happen, but I'm not sure. And then it happened, and I was like, okay, all right, let's do it. It was a little different than other movies that I've seen, but it was still a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. There's some things that kind of irked me about it, but overall, I think it's really good. I love the cast, really good cast, good acting too. I like, for me, I love slow burn, so you're going to make the movie slow, just make sure it pays off. This movie definitely paid off.
Agreed. That's why I thought I didn't think I was going to like it, because it was slow, but they were throwing things here and there. Like,
there's a lot of hints.
Something would happen, and then I was like, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. There was a lot of hints all given throughout. There's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of stuff. Like, so if you rewatch it, you'll like, oh, okay. They're just throwing it in your face. You see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. I mean, I thought it was good. Like I said, there's a lot of, like, obviously this movie is, like, there's I wouldn't say agenda, but there is a message to this movie. You know, there's a lot of stuff happening in the, back in with the Me Too movement. There's a lot of stuff like that with the whole Weinstein thing and then Epstein Island and all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that within this movie. There's a couple parts where they're kind of like hitting you over the face with it, which I didn't like, but overall, I thought this was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's actually a new movie that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had much luck with the new movies lately.
Yeah, exactly. Really good acting was done really well. I don't know. We have to look up this girl, but the girl who played Frida, thought she did a good job. Channing Tatum as like a villain was really good.
Yeah, he surprised me.
I think we need to see more like mainstream actors play like villains, like good crazy villains.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, overall it's good. So yeah, let's just go ahead and break it down.
All right, so it starts off with some lady sitting on the toilet.
Before that, I wrote it down. Before that, which kind of messed this movie up a little bit. Kind of right from the beginning, kind of like point down. Was there's a trigger warning in the beginning of the movie. Did you see that?
Why did I not recall that?
My copy of the movie had a trigger warning. It said there was a trigger warning. This movie is going to have like, sexual assault and all this stuff in it. And yeah, your copy didn't have that?
I don't know. I might have missed it because I was doing something when I played
okay.
it, and I didn't look at it until it popped up with the girl on the toilet on Instagram, whatever she was doing.
Yeah, it was like a good 10-second trigger warning. And it literally said trigger warning on it. And I'm like, ooh, they should have got rid of that. Like, if you come into a movie, you want to be surprised, and it kind of throws it away, like, the surprise out. You know, I'm glad you didn't see that.
Yeah, because that would have ruined part of the movie.
It kind of ruined it for me a little bit, because I kind of had an idea what's going on with the trigger warning. We don't need a trigger warning in movies. Like, just don't do it.
Yeah. So, okay. So, it had a trigger warning. Past that, there's a girl, Frida. She's sitting on the toilet. She's looking at the nails she painted. She does animal nails, and she posted it to, like, what is it, Instagram?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, she posted it to Instagram and she was just looking at the different nails. And then she was scrolling through and then she saw a thing about Slater.
Yeah, Slater King. And the Slater King, obviously, she was looking him up and saying, like, he's saying, like, they're, what it was saying, like, he was a billionaire. He owns, like, a tech business and all that stuff. And then they were showing, like, he was in, like, trouble for, like some kind of crazy behavior or something like that. And he was, like, he had posted a video saying, like, he apologized for all the bad stuff he did. And, he's going through therapy and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he stepped down from CEO
Yep.
and gave it to someone else. And then they were asking him in one of the videos, because he disappeared, where have you been? And he told them he bought an island. And he was hanging out at the island for a little bit.
Yeah, and his island has, no phones, no nothing, like just straight. They grow their own food and stuff like that.
Yeah, they got
have chickens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then her friend walks in while she's in the bathroom and asks her something. I think she's trying to ask her for rent, right?
yeah, the rent
And she's
money.
like, no, but I bought something, a surprise for you. And then she's like, I need toilet paper. Do you have any? And then her friend gives her toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then she goes to the mirror and there's money behind the mirror. She holds in her hand and she's like, oh, I really need a vacation.
Yeah. Now I wonder if she knew that money was there, or did she just find it?
I don't know. I feel like she knew it was there because I feel like she took her hands and literally
grabbed
stuck it back there and
Okay.
was feeling for it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
I think so. I mean, I think it looked like, but she was hiding the money from her.
She was
from her
hiding from her roommate.
Yeah.
She didn't want to give the money to her roommate. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Forget that rent.
And then it jumps to her walking to her job. She's wearing headphones. She's walking into her job. And her boss says, you're late.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be late. This is the tech gala. The most important event of the year for them and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we see her there. She meets her friend. So they work together as well. So you can't say you don't have any money because she know you're working.
Ain't that the truth?
So we see that their like waitress is there. They're just supposed to walk around, and give champagne out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we see that she was like, "Oh, I have a surprise I got to show you," and all that stuff.
Yeah. So they go to the bathroom, and she's like, red or blue. And I guess she just chose what color. I don't think they say what color. I think they just show them in the dresses. The colors were different colors of dresses.
Yeah.
I guess they're the same size.
Yeah. That's another thing that we'll talk about later about that. But I guess it makes sense now I think about it, but we'll get to that.
But I guess they're the same exact size because
Yeah.
she was able to choose whatever dress she wanted. So they go out and they pretend they're guests at this gala. And they're just walking around and she wants to meet Slater King.
Yeah.
She wants to meet him. She's like, this guy's intriguing. He's good looking. He seems like he's a great guy to have fun with. And she slips and falls.
Yeah.
And what happens?
We see Slayer comes like, "Oh, you all right?" He picks her up. He breaks off the other heel on her shoe or something like that. He's like, "Oh, I always wanted to do that. Seen it in a movie." And then we see they start talking. He just out of nowhere just starts introducing her into like all the people, like
All these people are
Yeah.
therapists, random
Yeah.
friends. And he's like, I don't know who that guy is who said hi to me.
Yeah. So he just introduced all these people, and then I'm looking at the cast like, oh crap, Christian Slater, I think Gina Davis was there, Haley Joel Osment. Like it was crazy. I'm like, oh man, awesome cast, especially Gina. I love Gina Davis. Like I think she's awesome. So
It's pretty good, yeah.
so what we see them just like having a good old time. I think
They're enjoying themselves. They're together. They're sitting down on the steps, and they're like, "You gotta go." And she's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "To my island." And he gets up, he walks away, and he comes back and goes, "You want to come with me,
yeah.
you two, to Jess and her and Frida?" And what did they do?
They go. I mean, I don't see why wouldn't they. Like if some rich person was like, "Oh, we're about to go hop on my private plane to go somewhere," I'm like, "I'm gonna go."
I
too."
go.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
And you see them flying on the plane.
Yeah.
Slater sleeping on Frida's shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, we see it like all throughout that scene. We see them like just staring into each other's eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's something they're hitting it off.
They're doing good. They're
I'm
doing
like,
good.
okay, they really like each other. We'll see what happens. So they get to the island, and right off the bat, they're lining up, and they're like, all right, everybody, give your phones up.
Yep.
Yep. So they all do it. Then we see Jess. She was like, oh, do I really? I want my phone, but in the end, she ends up putting her phone in the bag as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. And then they took a group photo. And then when they took the group photo, the when the flash happens, blink twice appeared.
Oh
You
yeah,
saw
yeah,
that,
yeah.
right?
I've seen that. Yeah. I thought
Yeah.
that was clever.
Yeah.
Clever thing to put the. Oh, well, we forgot about that. When she's seen the therapist, she was like, "Oh, blink twice if I'm in trouble, like if I'm in danger." To
Oh
the therapist.
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's a lot of foreshadowing right there."
That was, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of foreshadowing in this movie.
Yep. And they pretty much show her to her room and she looks around.
Mm-hmm.
She goes into the bathroom, there's perfume in there, she sprays it on her. And then she sees in the drawer there's a lip gloss in there. And she goes to open it and it's all nasty and gross
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And she's like, nice try or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that. And takes it and just shoves it back in the drawer. And then she gets dressed into her bathing suit.
Yeah, and it's funny. They all walk. She walks out, and Jess walks out, and the other girls walk out, and they're all wearing the same.
They're all like,
yeah.
are we all the same size? We
Yeah.
all match.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, all sizes. They all like how they knew all their sizes, but now we know why they knew their sizes.
And girl sizes are different than
Yeah.
guy sizes. Because
Yeah.
if you buy pants, like I could be like a size 6, but your pants would be like 36
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's completely different. Yeah, how it goes. So I'm like, I was thinking like, how do they know all their sizes? But I guess now we know why they knew all their sizes.
we'll get into
Yeah.
that later. We'll get into that.
Yeah. All throughout the island, there's like these red flowers, and they keep showing that all over the place. These red flowers.
The flowers only blossom
Yeah,
on the island.
Yeah.
And they have a pest problem with snakes.
Snakes. Yeah.
They're vipers.
So they have like he has his own bodyguard is like this Marine guy. He's been walking around with them, and then you see like actually workers. They have like all these like Spanish workers,
That kill the snakes and
Kill
stuff like
snakes,
that.
yeah.
That's how you find out there's a pest problem.
Yeah.
And then they go to the dining table, and Frida gets food on her dress, and they're all making fun of her.
Oh yeah.
They're like all like, what do you do in your free time besides getting food on your dress, on your clothes? And she's like, I'm trying to figure it out. And then they put on the table, they put down this vial of, I guess it was drugs, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, who's gonna do it first? And Frida's like, I'm gonna do it. How do I do this? And Slater takes it and like has her open her mouth and drops like 4 drops on her tongue.
Yeah, and then they start tripping. All of them start having fun partying. There's a lot of partying in this movie.
A lot of
Yeah.
partying.
So there's a lot of them partying. We see like one thing I'll do like her Zoe Kravitz directing is actually really good in this. She did a lot of cool shots, a lot of close ups, a lot of like follow cams, and I think really good job for her first movie. Wow.
Yeah, she did do pretty good. I give her props.
Yeah.
Then she sees the housekeeping lady, and she just looks at her and just smiles back at her.
Yeah.
The housekeeping lady you'll see throughout the movie, and they have weird interactions.
Yeah, and every time like she sees something a little just weird and creepy, they have like a little horn, right? Like a little horn that plays every time something a little creepy thing happens that she sees. Like the lady just smiling at her, she thought it was just weird, and then they had that little horn. Every single time that horn goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then pretty much it was just eat, drugs, repeat. Eat, drugs, party, repeat. Eat, drugs, party, repeat. That's what they showed over and over again a few times, but different things for each time they were doing it.
Yeah.
They were just running free. They were just eating all this gourmet food made by the chef, and then just smoking blunts, drinking wine, doing the liquid drugs.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of partying. And then you could see like you see all the characters. They kind of explain who's who. A lot of just like other techie people. Then a lot of almost like just but they're longtime friends. The way it seemed like it was.
Yeah, like one of them made an app for the
Yeah.
company and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and he said that she worked for the company. Yeah.
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 And then she's smoking with Frida, smoking with Slater, and he asked her how she got the scar right by her eye, and she's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She never knew how she got it. She kind of just appeared, but we'll find out about that later.
Yeah. And then we see a lot of I'm trying to think, what's her name? Heather?
Yeah, Heather with the blonde hair.
Heather was the one with the blonde hair.
Yeah,
and
Heather
then
with the blonde hair.
Sarah was okay. So Sarah, we see all throughout like the beginning part of that movie, Sarah was kind of like jealous of Frida
With Slater.
With Slater.
Yep.
You see that. I'm thinking like, all right, well, maybe they're gonna play into that a little bit, but not really. They just show that maybe
her jealousy kind of calms down.
Yeah.
If anything, it calms down. It goes vice versa.
Yeah. So I thought that was, I don't know, I thought that was gonna play into something, but it really doesn't.
Yeah. And then they're just having a good time by the pool, and they're dancing, and the snake bit Jess.
Yeah.
And she's freaking out.
Yeah, she's freaking out. And then, everyone's looking at her all laughing and stuff. And then we see Jess and Frida sitting down. Well, no, even before that, we see Slater's like, oh, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. She was like, is it poisonous? He was like, yeah, but, it's all right. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then so, Jess and Frida, we see them sitting down, and Frida's like, this place is just off. It's just something's up. Something's up with this place. I want to go home.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, cool. Obviously something's weird because they're showing a lot of just weird stuff. The lady with the snake arm tattoos on her arm and stuff like that. So something's weird, And then she's like, oh, she kind of talked her down. She's like, oh, please, stay here for me because, for once I don't seem invisible and all this stuff.
Yep.
Frida has, I guess she just want to be, out there. She wants to be seen and all this stuff. And then Jess was like, all right. I'm like, forget that. I would have been like, all right, I'm leaving. You know, you can stay here, but I'm leaving. But yeah, we see her, they give her a hug, and then she's like, all right, I'll stay. And then, like, right after that, they show Jess, like, bleeding from her nose and, like, looking up at the moon, which is crazy. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
And you're like,
wait,
what's
what?
going to happen to her? And then it just cuts off.
Yeah.
And you see a gift bag on the ground. It cuts off to a gift bag on the ground that Frida finds. So she walks into this little house right there, and she looks in there, and there's just gift bags all lined up on the walls.
Yeah.
Like, there must have been, like, maybe like 100 of them in there, you think?
Yeah, probably. It was a lot. It was a lot of gift bags.
And she went to go look in there, but she heard a noise, and it turned out to be that housekeeper lady again. And she was being creepy as usual. She's like, what did she say? Red Robin?
Red Rabbit.
Red Rabbit. And she was saying that to her, and then she showed her a bottle, a green bottle, and she told her to drink it, and she took a drink out of it, and she's like, oh, yo, that's strong.
Yeah. She's like, what is that? And then she lifted up the thing, and it was like a snake in there.
It was snake venom.
Yeah, snake venom. She's like, holy crap. So then she leaves, and she runs into the one guy with the chickens. He's like, what the hell are you doing over here? Which you would think, if she... Well, I guess if you didn't know what was going on, you walked in there, you didn't think anything was crazy with the bag. It's just bags. She tried to look in, but then she heard the lady. So she, at that point, she didn't even know what was in the bags.
Exactly.
So he kind of just let her go, and then she left, right? Yeah.
And then it goes to everyone's sitting down at the table. The one guy has a penis drawn on his forehead.
Oh, yeah.
The other guy has a black eye. What was that, Cody?
Yeah.
The girl, she had bruises.
Yeah,
the one has bangs.
We see like they kind of like partied themselves out at that point. Like they're like all the girls are all messed up.
Yeah, they're all messed up.
Just like, what the hell's going on? And they're out of it. And like they don't even know how long they've been there. We don't even know how long it's been.
they're gonna go boating.
Yeah.
They're gonna go boating, but they're like, no, we have to have a girls' time. So the girls stay back. All the guys go fishing. The girls stay.
Yeah.
They have masks
Yeah.
on, and then it clicks to Frida, and Frida's like, "Where's Jess?"
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Who is Jess?"
Yeah. And Freddie started freaking out, like, what the hell?
They're like, I think I would have known if there was someone named Jess here.
Yeah. And then that's when it really like starting to hit her, like, what the hell? Now she's like, all right, something's up. And then we see her running to Gina. I mean, not Gina, but Gina Davis's character. She runs into her, and she was like, hey, where's Josh? She's like, who are you talking about? And then it's like, oh, she was in the room next to me. She was like, oh, the storage closet?
Yep.
And then she runs in there, and we see a whole bunch of like just random shit in her room. And like, oh, she's like, what the hell?
They covered that up good.
Yeah.
Because Sarah, the other girl, is starting to feel the same way that Frida's feeling. And she knows that they've all done something to them.
Yeah, because so she finds Sarah goes to her room, and she's like, and she had the lighter.
Yeah.
She had the lighter that had Jess's name on it. So she was like, well, there was a Jess here because there's a lighter with her name on it.
Exactly.
So she's like, well, something's up. And then they start talking. And then, Sarah was like, well, what the hell's on my arm? So. And then from there, they're like, oh, yeah, these guys are just messing around with us. They're making us, forget shit. So they don't think it's like something crazy yet. They just think, oh, these dudes are playing with us, giving us something, mess with our memory.
Yeah.
And then they're thinking like, all right, well, what is it? And for me, I thought it was the other guy. So I guess Sarah comes to find out, she finds out it was, well, she says it, I guess, it was the perfume. At first, I thought it was the drops.
I thought it was the drops, too.
I thought it was the drops that really was doing it. But, yeah, it makes sense as the perfume. But
how do you ensure all of them are going to use the perfume?
That's what I wrote down, too. Like, how are you going to know they're all going to do for perfume? But there's a one part in the scene where she stopped using it, and he says, you smell different.
Yes.
So
he does say that.
Yeah, so I guess they can smell every day if they're using it or not,
True.
So, but
they
yeah,
might
that's
make a comment about it. Too,
yeah, but that is crazy that it was in the perfume and not the drops, because then you can make sure that they're doing it in the drops.
Exactly, you can ensure your safety and get away with whatever you're trying to plan.
Yeah, because the perfume, obviously it's the flowers that they put into the perfume, but yeah, that's just crazy. You don't know if they're gonna use it. So
yeah, and then they're like, how do we get the other girls to believe us?
Yeah,
with what's going on. So their idea was they take the snake venom and they do shots with the other girls.
Yeah, because they had, because she took Sarah to that room with all the perfume, and showed her that, and then made her take a swig, and then they had the girls taking multiple shots.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't even like a little bit. Yeah. This was like crazy.
They took a lot. So Frida took one swig from that bottle. Even Sarah took one swig. And them girls, the other two girls, were taking multiple shots.
They were taking like 4 or 5. Yeah, they were getting messed up.
Throwing them down. So, they're like, oh, we just got to wait. They're trying to, all right, we got to wait before it kicks in for them. So around that time, a little bit before, when Sarah and Frida was talking, when they found out that they all didn't know each other. Like,
oh, yeah. Everyone, they didn't even know who they were. This is the first time they're meeting each other.
Yeah, so they were saying like, hey, I forget exactly how she said it, but they found out that, all, because made it seem like they all knew each other before all that, but they didn't. So it was kind of crazy. So they knew like, all right, this is crazy. Something's going on. And they're like, oh, we can just call the cops. And they're like, what are we going to say? We don't even know what happened, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so Frida wants to go take a look in Slater's room where he hides the cell phones to see if she can get service. And Sarah was going to say, I want to smoke the big fat blunt or something like that. That was the code word if Slater was on his way. So they were coming back. She was there, and she's yelling it, and she finds photos as everyone who was there before, and she takes a few of them and sticks them into her bikini top,
Yeah.
and then cleans up the rest. And she couldn't get cell service on any of the phones, and she hides underneath the desk. And Slater King comes back.
Mm.
He comes in. He grabs his vape thing from his drawer, from his desk, and then he turns around and he goes, "What am I gonna do with you?"
Yeah. He's like, what? And then she's like, oh shit, he spotted me. So
Yeah.
and then he says like 3 or 4 times, what I'm gonna do with you? And she's like, oh no. So I'm thinking she's about to pop up.
I was like, "Oh snap! Stuff's about to happen."
Yeah. And then he's looking at the chair. I was like, what the hell am I gonna do with this chair? This is a good spot for this chair.
He's like, "Stace, let's move this. Why'd you pick it here?" So they pick up the chair and they move it to a different spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know why we didn't try it here the first time."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, a little bit before that, when they were taking the shots, they had Gina Davis's character take some shots as well.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
had her in there.
So
Yeah.
she was taking shots as well.
Yeah.
So when she was under the table, she started remembering even more stuff.
Yeah, these are some bad visions. The men were
Yeah.
attacking the women.
Yeah.
They were doing bad things.
Yeah. And then she remembered that they actually killed Jess.
Yes, they like broke her neck.
Yeah.
She's like, she remembers.
Yeah, she got bit. They said, oh, she got bit by the snake. So now she remembers.
Yeah.
And they ended up just breaking her neck. And she remembered there. And I was like, holy crap, this is like the worst time to remember this because you're going to start crying and stuff. And they're in the other room, you know?
Yeah. And then it cuts to them at the table. Sarah and Frida are trying to keep their cool. Like, we have to act happy.
Yeah.
We can't act sad or anything like that. We don't want to break our cover. And
Yeah.
Sarah almost blew it. She's
Yeah,
like,
she
was like so close. She's like, yeah, it was just women, hating on each other, even though we should be empowering each other and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of like agenda pushing a little bit with that. And then just a little bit, but yeah.
And then it goes on to Frida, and she like freaked out on Slater because he went to go put his hand on her.
Yeah.
And
he's like, you all right?
He's like, "You're right," and she's like, "I just want to dance."
Yeah.
So she starts dancing.
Yeah, they start dancing. And I actually like a little bit of this because, all right, we see Sarah, she's trying to really, really get it together where she can, control herself and not, freak out because she remembered too what happened. And then we see them dancing. And then it was really cool shots where, like, when they'll turn their head and you can see the pain and they're like upset and then they turn and they have to smile.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that doing that.
And then the girl who created the app, what's her name? The girl with the afro?
Camilla.
Yeah. She gets the bloody nose and she comes back to normal.
Yeah.
And then she kills the guy. She kills what guy? What's that guy? Tom. She kills Tom.
I really like that because we see her. She went to go pour the water, and then you just see her face. Like you see the nose coming, blood come out of her nose, and you see, and then it just turns into anger.
Yeah.
And then a tear comes out, and all of a sudden we find out, she stabbed him like multiple times.
He died right in that pool.
Oh,
And then Heather remembers. Well, all the women remember at that point. All the women remember everything that happened, but Heather and Camilla are the ones that freak out the most.
Yeah, because they're learning on the spot, and they were pretty much. Sarah and Frida was saying that they're ticking time bombs because when they find out, it's about to pop down, pop up,
and
go crazy. So there's really the worst timing because they probably wanted to get to them before, like, soon as they remember, like, all right, calm down, let's work this out. But no, it's like the worst time. So they ended up, she stabbed him. Then what was her name?
Who? Camilla stabs him, and then Heather was the other one.
She hits Christian Slater with the chessboard, and he just tears his face up, hit him like multiple times, just broke his jaw, and then she ends up getting shot by the Marine.
Yes,
the Marine guy.
And then Frida's running for her life.
Yeah,
you see her running for her life.
Yeah, he chases after her.
And then she gets caught by the Marine guy, and he was about to shoot her, and then Sarah came along and hit him in the head.
Oh yeah,
and
tore him up.
Yeah,
because Sarah ended up stabbing the other guy, stabbing him in the hand, and he ran away, and then she helped Frida out with the Marine guy.
Yeah.
And then got the gun.
They got the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they ended up in the bathroom. They went separate ways, and Stacy remembers too and was choking Frida.
Yeah. So she was a part of it. She was helping them the whole time, and she just wanted to forget because she don't want nothing to do with it. You know?
Yeah, no.
She was like, "Why the hell you made me remember this stuff?"
So she was choking her.
Yeah.
And then a knife fell from behind the mirror.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because they showed like a clip part of like a really fast part. So right when Jess found out, she actually gave Frida the knife and told her to hide it.
Yeah.
That you when her like when she was sleeping, she had that little vision. So it really happened. She just forgot.
Yeah. So the knife fell from behind the mirror, and she stabbed Stacy. And Stacy's like, "Help me!" And she's like, "I tried that. I tried helping you."
Yeah.
And so she stabbed her, and then I wrote that girl shot Cody. Oh, Sarah. Sarah shot Cody. I didn't remember the name. I just learned her name before we watched. Sarah shot Cody.
Because he was like, because Slater was like, go outside, because they're all in their room locked up. He was like, just go outside, go find them, go out. And he was like, all right. And you see him walking around there. He's to get her shot. So one other thing I did not like about this. So a lot of times when they're getting hit or shot, even the shot when he was getting shot, they did a lot of cut. Like they cut away from it too much. I think they should have been a little bit more brutal with it. So like when I think a little bit later when she hits Slater with that what's it called? The statue. It kind of cut too early. And then a lot of times before, like even when you want to pay off. So these girls are getting assaulted. We're not going to say the R word, but these girls are getting assaulted, and you need the payoff. So there's a movie called I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
No.
So at the beginning of the movie, this girl gets attacked. She gets assaulted sexually. And the rest of the movie is her getting revenge on these guys, and she brutally tears them up. Like does some crazy stuff to these guys one by one.
Oh wow!
So I wanted a little bit more of that. I wanted it to, especially with Camilla stabbing, what's it called, and then like I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more. It seemed like it just went too quick. I just wanted a little bit more drawn out of them attacking those girls, flipping out and attacking a little bit. That's just me. No,
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. So they shoot Cody, and then pretty much they're walking towards Slater's room.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we're gonna get him now. Let's do this.
So Frida's knocking on the door, and they open the door. The guy gets shot.
Oh yeah, this other kid. So he wasn't a part of it. He was just one of them. I guess they drugged up as well. He was just had this just happened to be there. I guess because he wasn't doing all the crazy stuff, right?
No, he wasn't. No.
Yeah.
Slater said he wasn't doing.
Yeah, so he was just there. Like I don't know what they were doing with him.
He's probably just drugged up, laying in a room somewhere.
I know he got punched at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was just there, and then Slater was like saying like he was nothing because he doesn't do anything. There's like Slater is like the big bad guy. Like he is ruthless. They don't show him like almost like he's just ultimate evil.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't lose his cool. Out of all this stuff is going on, we see the Christian Slater's character, they pull him into the room, his face is mangled. He hears the shot of the other guy, Cody, getting killed, and he's still cool. He's cool through this whole part.
Yep.
Of all this crazy stuff going on, he's so cool and just so devious. Like he doesn't care. So they hear, they play a trap for them to open the door. They ended up shooting the dude, the young guy, shooting him. And then we see Frida trying to stab at Slater. And then he actually like closes the door on her arm and he pulls her inside.
Yep.
Yeah. So pulls her inside. And then we see her was like, oh my God, don't kill me. And then that's when she grabs the statue. And
grabs the statue, hits him like 4 or 5 times in the head. And he doesn't fall to the ground or anything. He actually gets control of her.
Yeah.
And ties her, her dress around her hands.
Yeah, and he
behind
kind of
her
like
back.
he knocks her out too. Like he did something like I forgot exactly what he did, but he ended up knocking her out, and that's when she actually remembers more stuff.
She remembers she was there before.
She was there before. That she remembered that she was there before, and then she fell. When she was trying to run away, she fell,
and hit her head
hit
on
her
a
head.
rock.
That's when she got the scar.
Yep, and how the guy lost his pinky as she
Yeah.
literally chewed off his finger.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It was like, holy crap, she was there, and she forgot this whole thing, which is
Yeah.
wild.
And then Slater actually wants, while Slater is talking to Frida, Frida has a piece of glass in her hand, and she's cutting the dress, the tied dress behind her.
Yeah,
And Sarah is shooting at the door to try to break in, to get in to do that. And Slater wants to escape with Frida.
Yeah, and then while she's shooting at the door, you can hear that the gun went empty, and he heard it. And he was like, "Oh, I'll be right back." And he was talking to her. That was right when like he was saying, "Oh, thank you." No, he was saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." He had like some tangent when he's going off.
He started really soft. He was like, "I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry." Then he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." He just got louder and louder, and he must have said it like 20 times. I'm sorry.
And then he was like, "Oh, is that better?" Like just out of nowhere. So it's pretty much that's another thing, like saying like, all right, these crazy guys in Hollywood who are doing all these things, and then all they have to say is like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah,
That's what really that scene was all about. And then showing him like, all right, after he's saying he's sorry and he's like almost tearing up, and then, oh, okay, that's it? That's all you needed to hear? Like he just turned it off like it was nothing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a message saying like, all right, all these guys doing these crazy stuff. That's all they're saying is sorry, but they're not really meaning it. They're not changing, you know.
So he brings Sarah into the room.
Yeah, he chases her down.
Gets her down on the floor. Sees that Frida has a knife. Grabs a knife from Frida.
Yeah.
Goes to slit Sarah's throat.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
So this is another thing that kind of got me. There's a little gripe with this. So right when he is about to slice her throat, then you see him not do it. And then all of a sudden he drops a knife. He's like, "What's going on? What happened? What, all this stuff." And he forgot what was going on. He's like, why? He was talking to the other guy. Why are your faces all messed up? Like he completely forgot like exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And then we see Frida, she lifts up her dress and we see that the perfume.
Yep.
So she pretty much put the perfume in his vape. Now, my thing is, when did she do this?
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, when did she have time to do this?
Yeah.
Did she do it when she was under the desk in his office?
That's what I'm saying. When, she would have to do it there because there's no way she did it when he went to go get Sarah. Because if that was the case, right, would it take effect that quick?
True.
Because he literally, right before he grabbed Sarah, like to cut her throat, that's when he was hitting the vape.
Yeah.
So
I think she must have did it when she was underneath the desk.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes logical sense.
Now I'm thinking about it. I do remember there's a scene where he went into the actual drawer and grabbed a vial for the vape. I wonder if that was him picking that one up. It was the one that she put in there.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. That's one, because there's no way she put it in the vape when he went to go grab Sarah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's crazy. Because I don't see it taking effect that quick.
Yeah.
It seems like so. All throughout this movie, we're saying they're slowly forgetting what they've been doing the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
They're slowly seeing that. So after they put their perfume, after multiple days, they're slowly forgetting. But there's no way he vaped within 5 minutes. He completely forgot.
Exactly, because it doesn't work that fast.
Yeah,
as you can tell from the movie of what happened.
Maybe we just missed that part. Maybe she did do it when she was in there. I don't know. I literally just watched it. I don't remember seeing that.
I don't remember seeing it either. So there's no way both of us missed it.
Yeah, that's if you seen that, guys, let us know, because I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, and the house is on fire. While all this is going down, the house is on fire.
The house catches on fire.
And so they forget, and Slater goes to Frida, and he slips and falls and smashes his head on the table.
Yeah, just
knocks himself out.
That was another thing. It's like, that's it. That's all it took is him just slipping and hitting his head and knocking himself out. It's like, come on, give me a little bit more. I want to fight. I want them two to fight him, like in a battle, like like really, like just have him like fight both of them, and they just beat him, just beat him or something like that.
Yeah, so Frida and Sarah drag Slater out
Yeah,
of the fire, the burning building.
yeah, they kind of revealed that because we see her pulling someone, so we're thinking it's Sarah at first.
That's who I thought it was.
And then she was like, "You sure you want to do this?"
Yeah.
And then they pull it out. Then we see she has
Slater
in her. So before that, right when she killed Gina Davis's character, we see that she like fell and had the pictures, and then that's when she found out she was Red. That's when she found out she was Red Rabbit, and that lady was saying, "Oh, Red Rabbit," when she had the Red Rabbit on her fingernails.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So shout out to the lady because she the one who set all this up. She knew what the poison the freaking what is it?
Antidote was.
Yeah, she knew that the snake venom would do to them, that they would remember. She gave it to her. Take a shot of this, drink it, so she would remember. So it was, and then at the end we see her laughing when looking at the place on fire, laughing.
Yeah, she knew it.
And
then it cuts off. It just randomly cuts off to a gallery. And I was a little confused at this part.
I knew right away what it was, and I'm like,
so it says they want to thank Mrs. King, the wife. So Frida married Slater King.
Yeah.
But is he aware? Like, did he know everything that happened before? Or did... See, that's what I'm a little confused.
I think she...
Is she, like, putting him underneath the spell of the perfume?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He is completely... Yeah. Like, so he doesn't remember anything.
So he's underneath the spell of the perfume?
Yes. Because we see the therapist goes up to him and is like, hey, we're going to talk about, what we talked about before. We're going to finish that conversation.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. Like, he didn't know who he was. So, yeah. So.
Yeah, but they're like, no, we're going to be in Beijing next week.
Yeah. And so she's controlling him. So most likely she made him lose his memory and then she filled in the gaps. She told him, hey, she's like, hey, we're, getting married soon. And they actually probably really got married and saying all this stuff. So she filled all the gaps in his lost memory, and he had to,
I was a little confused about that.
But he was definitely like, he can barely hold, like, he got to be under some other drugs because he was trying to like cut food and stuff and barely grab it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think he was cutting steak. Remember he was saying, I don't eat red meat, and he was cutting the steak, so she had him eating the steak and all that. Yeah, and then she's the new CEO. She has all the money and power. That was another little push on the agenda. Now the girl's got all the power over this crazy guy. But that's the only thing. I don't know how I feel about that ending. I don't know if I would have liked it better if they ended up Frida and Sarah got into a fight, taking out Slater, killing him, and then they're leaving the fire, the burning house, seeing the old lady laughing, and then you end the movie. I don't know if I would like that better than having Frida now has control over. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. What? How'd you like the ending like that? Her having the power now over.
I mean, Slater. I like it because it's like girl power.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's like girl power.
But I felt like it was too easy.
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't enough to it because like he went down by slipping and hitting his head on the table. Yeah. Like literally nobody did anything to him. Nothing happened to him.
He just forgot, and then he forgot how to walk too. And
yeah, so I feel like they could have given us a little more. Yeah. They could have kept the ending with her getting marrying him. But
yeah, maybe. All right, I think I would like that better. We can do both, where her and Sarah whoop his ass, or just barely beat him, like, take him down. Because Slayer, he's a fucking big bad guy. Like, he is super, crazy. He doesn't lose his cool. And then he forgets his memory and then he slips and busts his head wide open. That's it. Like, come on,
They could have made something happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what the whole movie, you build up for all this, and then literally he just slips and falls.
Yeah. So I think they could have, they could have whooped his ass, did all that. And then, all right, now, where we can have Sarah about to stab him. And then she's like, no, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Then they can do it where now, okay, he's in a wheelchair and, and then we see her standing next to him and they're, now the new couple or something like that. And the new CEO, Frida King, something like that. I think they're a little bit better, other than like, he's just some dumb male who can barely cut his food and she's queen bee type, just made it a little better. You can still do that. Just don't hit it. You're hitting us in the head with the agenda. You can still push the agenda, but just don't make it like slap you in the face with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do girl power. That's fine. I don't have a problem with girl power, but just make it better. Like, do good girl power.
Make like something happen. Like it was just too easy. It was just she whacked him in the head 4 different times with that statue, and he didn't go down, but he could slip and hit his head and go down from that.
Yeah.
Come on. Think.
Yeah. So, even after that, I still thought the movie was good.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed all of this partying, and then they're like, "What the hell's going on?" And then we see them like running out in the field, and then one girl's like, "Wait, why are we running? Why are we running?"
Oh yeah.
So I like that. I like trying to figure out, all right, what the hell's going on? And then we see it's these four, these dudes having a good old time. Even the therapist was there, and he was like, "Oh, is she not gonna remember this?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, she's not gonna remember this whole night." So
good.
I thought it was good. And then we see with all those bags there, I guess we see when the therapist left early in the movie, he had a bag. They gave him a bag. So I think they were just trying to give those out to all his friends. They're going to have their own little
goodie
bags with that, that perfume,
Exactly.
And that's another thing. There's a whole bunch of goodie bags. So a lot of these, top executive guys, they're getting those perfumes, making all these girls forget or not say anything,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, where are you gonna rate it out of 5 stars?
Out of 5 stars? I want to go with. I'm torn between 3.5 and a 4.
Well, I am the same. Literally the same. That was.
I'm gonna lean more towards 4.
4.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean more towards 4.
I'm really close to like 3.5 and 4 as well. Like, it's like the stuff I didn't like, but it's not too much. It doesn't like destroy the movie, so I still enjoy the movie. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Wow, we actually agreed on something.
I'm gonna give it a 4. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, I think if they fixed all those other stuff, it would have got 4.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Yeah. I'll give it a 4.
It was definitely good. I like that. I like the whole mystery aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's like you were trying to put like a puzzle together.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, like, you're like, okay, something's obviously going on, but what is it?
What's
causing it? What is it?
Because at first I thought it was like some kind of cult thing. Is there like, what's going on with the snakes? Are they like worshiping snakes or something like that? Because he was talking about his therapist and him forgetting. Like, I'm thinking like, all right, what's going on? He's crazy? Is he gonna be killing people or is he eating people? What it is? Sacrifice?
Yeah.
Something? Nope. They're just having a good old time. That's what it was.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah. So that was Blink Twice. Really good. It came out in the movies. Came out in streaming at the same time.
Let us know what you think, guys.
Let us know what your thoughts on it.
We want to hear it.
Yeah. Did you know what was going on? I kind of spoiled it for me for a little bit because I read the trigger warning, but but yeah, really good, guys. Yeah, definitely let us know and make sure you rate us on all those podcast apps out there. Rate us. How many stars should they rate us?
5.
5 stars. Yes.
Obviously 5.
5 stars.
We know you love us.
Yeah, make sure you rate us. Make sure you follow us so you can never miss an episode. Make sure you go on our YouTube and subscribe to us at youtube.com/cinema critics. And definitely hit that notification bell because YouTube be tripping. And a lot of people don't get our notifications, so make sure you hit the bell. And yeah.
And give us reviews. Like, what movies do you want us to review? Are you curious about?
Yes.
That you don't feel like watching, that you want to hear, like, maybe like a brief review about it or something like that.
Yeah. Or you just want to know our take on maybe your favorite movie you want us to check out. Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
yeah, guys, thank you. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace out.